This is a compare and contrast slideshow presentation of Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein and My Philosophy of Life by John Ashbery. Religion in the postmodernist era is more of an afterthought to the authors of this period. In both of these poems, religion is not mentioned in them. Where the Sidewalk Ends is more of a children's poem and is meant to be fun and light. Postmodernist writers also like to challenge the ideological assumptions of contemporary society, which is according to Marie Diamond. They did not like to write about topics that other time periods have consistently gone over. In My Philosophy of Life, the author focuses on sharing his philosophy on how to live your life. He also says that he wants to live more like a philosopher than the way God would want you to live. Figurative language is not used very much in My Philosophy of Life. Ashbery pretty much says straightforward what he is trying to teach the reader. You don't have to dig too deep into it for a meaning as to what his philosophy will mean. This makes it easier for the reader to understand what he is trying to say. In Where the Sidewalk Ends, Silverstein uses a lot of imagery to describe the sidewalk and the things surrounding it. The descriptive words put an image in the reader's head as to what is happening in the scene and what it looks like. There is a place where the sidewalk ends and before the street begins, and there the grass grows soft and white, and there the sun burns crimson bright, and there the moonbird rests from his flight to cool in the peppermint wind. This gives the reader an image in their head as to what is happening in the poem. Nature is used in My Philosophy of Life to describe the seasons and how things will happen in your life when these seasons occur. Ashbery also uses the senses to put an image and a smell in your head. At once a fragrance overwhelms him, not saffron, not lavender, but something in between. And Where the Sidewalk Ends, nature is just used to describe the environment around the sidewalk. Nature is also an afterthought for writers in the postmodernism era, which is just like religion. Human nature is talked about a lot in My Philosophy of Life. It talks about how we should live our lives and the things that might happen in our lives. Since this poem is more of an adult poem, it can teach them about life lessons and life itself. It also gives them a philosophy on which the reader can learn and live their life later on. And Where the Sidewalk Ends, human nature is there, but is not a lot. It shows that if you work hard, follow your dreams, you can achieve your goals and reach the end of the sidewalk. We shall walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and watch where the chalk white arrows go to the place where the sidewalk ends. Since this is more of a child's poem, the human nature in it is not huge because children may not understand what the author is trying to teach them. Government and society is shown a little bit in both of these poems. Where the Sidewalk Ends shows that in life we will encounter times when we will just follow everyone, but at some point we will break away and go on our own journey and on our own path. It talks about how we can reach the end of the sidewalk, which means that we can end one chapter in our lives and go on to the next one and follow new dreams. My Philosophy of Life shows a behavior that the reader can imitate and use in their life. It gives the reader a way to act in society. According to Abby Werlock, we think what we think because we see it on TV. I think this also applies to reading some literature because we are influenced by everything we see, hear, or experience in life. The American dream and these poems are both about finding yourself in life and achieving everything you can. Where the Sidewalk Ends shows that we can all reach the end of the sidewalk with hard work and determination. We can achieve any goal that we set for ourselves. It also shows that if the dream is being achieved slowly, you are still living up to your expectations. It just may take a while longer to get there. And the poem shows us when it says, "Past the pits where the asphalt flowers grow, we shall walk with a walk that is measured and slow, and watch where the chalk white arrows go to the place where the sidewalk ends." This is pretty much saying that we will follow our path for as long as it takes to achieve our goals. In My Philosophy of Life, the author gives the reader a way to live and wants them to try and achieve their own goals by trying their own philosophy in life. And the author wants to be able to live his life like the way his poem describes because he believes that is the best way to let everything kind of go by how it is and not have to worry about too much in life except for achieving your dreams and following your path. In both Where the Sidewalk Ends and My Philosophy of Life, the hero in the poem is yourself. In Where the Sidewalk Ends, it talks about achieving your goals and getting the things that you want in life with hard work. And at some point in your life, you will end one chapter and start another one. This is pointed out where it says, "There is a place where the sidewalk ends and before the street begins." This points out that you end one part of your life and start another point. In My Philosophy of Life, it talks about living your life the way you want to live it and having no regrets. And he wants you to enjoy life and learn everything that you can from it. And he says, "But maybe I can come up with a compromise. I'll let things be what they are," sort of. So in a way, he's going to let his life unroll as it is and enjoy it as much as he can. The common themes in Where the Sidewalk Ends and My Philosophy of Life are achieving goals and following your dreams in life and having a path to follow that will allow you to get farther in life. In Where the Sidewalk Ends, it points out that where one thing ends, another begins. And in My Philosophy of Life, it says, "But maybe I can come up with a compromise. I'll let things be what they are," sort of. This means that he is going to continue to follow his dreams, but isn't going to be so controlling of everything that will happen to him. Where the Sidewalk Ends also mentions a path that we can take in life to help us achieve our lives. And in My Philosophy of Life, the author says, "Now I want you to go out there and enjoy yourself, and yes, enjoy your philosophy of life too. They don't come along every day." The philosophy is the path that the reader will take in life, and the sidewalk and Where the Sidewalk Ends is the path in that poem that the reader can take. Literature has changed throughout time because of new inventions and discoveries in the world. These inventions and discoveries allow the authors to write about more topics and make their writings more interesting. According to Victoria Godoshky, where modernist writers or critics persist with their non-modernist predecessors in drawing a line around a work of art and contemplating its distinctiveness, the postmodernist points out that any such line is no more than a line in the sand. The new inventions and discoveries also make the writing more interesting and exciting for the reader. According to Abby Warlock, the centrality of new technologies that are themselves linked to a new economic system allow a broader topic range for authors to write about, which makes their writing more interesting and exciting. Also, today's society has a different set of values than the previous time periods. We can now write about things like a philosophy of life instead of talking about how God would want us to live our life.